Hello, everybody. It's Scuttlebutt with Cleo and Pearl, and here we are for another fun show about our favorite topics in politics. When we ended the show last time, we talked a lot about Mike Lindell, and I was just hoping and praying that the man got the money together to do a recount in the Minnesota primary because he was so sure that he got screwed out of it. So, and he didn't make it. He didn't. It's what a disappointment. He did not come up with enough money to do a recount. So I thought, okay, well, let's look into what's really important about Minnesota and not just the funny stuff. I mean, Mike Lindell did get 134,000 plus votes, and Lisa DeMuth, who won it for the Republican side for governor, is 179,000 votes. But I left out the most important thing about Minnesota's primary, and that is Amy Klobuchar is the Democratic candidate for governor. And she's already, of the numbers I just told you about, she got 615,040 votes. 89.69%. Minnesota, you guys got a new governor, and she is going to be great. And I guess your old governor was Tim Walz, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I think I don't know exactly what happened there, but he decided not to do it. I
Well,
think,
because of Trump, he
yeah. Well,
decided
there's
it was
too
just
much,
not.
too much pressure on his whole family.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
being threatened and stuff. But
Mhm.
Amy, I mean, I've been watching this woman for a long time, and she is just great. Oh God, she's going to make a great governor for Minnesota. So happy to see that. But I was so disappointed that Mike Lindell didn't come up with the money because what a waste of time and what a waste of money. He would never come close. Well, neither with the other Republican woman. She would not come close to 615,000 plus. Minnesota has already decided who their new governor is.
Yeah, that's
And
right. Hey,
that's great.
since we're not going to be seeing Mr. Lindell for a while, could I just pop up a little photo of him?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Here's Mr. Lindell, and you'll notice the caption. This is from the Minnesota. It's a Minnesota news outlet, and it says Minnesota election officials say Lindell recount request is too late, and warns of ballot delays. So he missed his deadline, which was Monday, which
And
is when.
he knew that was the deadline.
Of course he did.
I remember how he was gonna, yeah, I'll pay that 800. You bet. I've been
Yeah,
screwed. I've been screwed out
yeah.
of this.
So he missed filing his formal request and paying for it. So I guess because he couldn't pay for it, he didn't file it. But
Well, because
he,
when it came right down to it, when he came right down to it, and then suddenly he said, "No, I'm not paying that." So I don't know who he thought he was going to get to pay it, but yeah, I know he flat out said, "No, he's not paying that." Well, I'm thinking, well, why are you talking? If you don't pay for it, you don't get to do a recount. That's all there. That's the rules for everybody.
yeah. Now this says the last paragraph in this short little article says Lindell was informed that he had to request and pay $825,000 for the recount prior to midnight Monday. He withheld payment as he sought a broader recount, alleging, without much documentation, that there were anomalies in the August 11th primary count. So, sour grapes for Mike Lindell. Okay.
Yeah, well,
So take your fill, folks. Feast your eyes on this hunk of man that lost the primary election. And I wish I had a picture of Lisa DeMuth to follow it up, but or Amy Klobuchar, but we're gonna remove him now because he's no more. He's no bueno.
Well, you can
He's out there.
pretty much assume that Lisa DeMuth or Amy Klobuchar were not shaking in their boots. they, they must have wondered, what in the world are you doing? This is a primary. You lost it by over, what was it, over 45,000 votes? Yeah,
Mhm.
45,000 votes. I mean,
Mhm.
no, that's not just a small discrepancy. That's not just, oh, something got a little bit mixed up. That is, you lost. You have no credentials to be a governor. Minnesota does not want you for the governor. They want Amy Klobuchar. And so do I. And I'm
Yeah,
not even anywhere near.
I thought about voting for her for president. I thought she was
Oh,
terrific.
yeah. Yeah, me
Oh
too.
yeah, she was great. I'm
She
trying to
is.
find a good picture of her, but all I can find is this one. Let me put do you
Well,
want
I
me to
think
put
she's
this one
been
up?
in the Senate for like 4 terms or something like that for a
Oh
long
yeah,
time.
good long time. Yeah, good long time. Anyway, so you all know what Amy looks like, but she's a winner. She's totally a winner.
Totally. Totally.
Totally a winner.
So,
Oh, wait, while we're talking about winning, hey,
yeah.
please like, share, and subscribe. We love new subscribers. Do we have any new subscribers this week, Cleo?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Okay,
doing a
well,
little bit
welcome.
better, you know.
Welcome. I hope you're all watching. I hope you're all enjoying our repartee. And I hope that you'll come back again and again and again. And be sure to comment. And when you comment, I guess the algorithm likes it if it's at least 7 characters. That's a good comment. At
No,
least
I didn't.
seven
I didn't know
characters or
that.
more. Yeah, that's good. And
But we got some really nice comments from last week,
we
and
did.
we did pretty good. Um, we actually, I kind of screwed things up with the show a little bit because I changed it to a different category within YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and so uh, the one before that we just didn't do so well. But this one we did really well, and we did really well with the shorts. So, yeah,
Oh
I'm pretty.
yeah, you one of the shorts that was just you just came flying up into my phone this morning. And I was like, God damn, that's my sister. And she's right there for all the world to see on YouTube. Hello.
Yeah, so we're we picked up a few subscribers, but we only need about 43,000 new subscribers. That's all we need. If we
Oh,
could
that's
just
all
get
we need. Oh,
43,000 new subscribers, that would be
that's all.
wonderful.
That's
Okay,
all.
so let's talk about what's been going on this week.
Okay.
And it's all about the Supreme Court. And it started with, on Monday, I think. Maybe it started over the weekend. I don't know. But the Supreme Court has taken a little bit different view with Trump. And it's when you first saw the article, you probably went, oh my God, can they actually do this? Because we'd been talking about all these injunctions that were going on about the voting and about the Save Act, the
Mhm.
Screw America in Every Orifice Act. So, what the Supreme Court did, and it made it. I noticed all the news things that come out, even on the regular news, which I was surprised this came on the regular news. I'm talking about the TV news and stuff. Um,
Right.
that it made it look like he had a big win.
Yeah. Yeah, they always do that. They always try to slant it like he wins one little point out of 50 and they make it seem like a slam dunk for Trump. There you go.
It's
It's like,
slam
no,
dunk.
no, it's not a slam dunk. Go ahead.
No, no, it was not a slam dunk.
No.
It was. They decided that the states. I think at that point it was 23 states. It's now up to 25 states, but 23 states filed a lawsuit in regards to the Save America Act, basically, anything that was going on with that, with the voting, with the mail-in voting, and the court said that they were premature in doing that. That nobody had been harmed yet. I do not understand this. That you have to be. It's almost like they'll not put a stop sign up somewhere until somebody finally gets killed,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, okay, now we need the stop sign. So they're saying that um, just because somebody said they wanted to do this, they hadn't actually done it yet, trying to screw around with all our ballots, trying to screw around with all the identification that you're going to need to vote.
Oh, me? I'm going to have to take 2 sets of divorce papers, a birth certificate, and my passport in order to vote. I've changed my name 4 times. So I'm going to have to take a shit ton of documentation.
Well, you might get deported.
Well, that's. I hope they do cheap plastic surgery wherever I get deported to. But no, that's why I like mail-in voting. I don't have to take all my documentation with me. Score.
So anyway, they zeroed in, the court zeroed in on one of the injunctions, and I believe the information I'm getting right now, they're only talking about 2. There was actually 3 injunctions. But they said that when the lower court blocked Trump's executive order, it was premature.
Yeah.
So they lifted that injunction, and then Trump could start implementing some of the parts of the March executive order. They can compile a federal list of eligible U.S. citizens. Department of Justice can prioritize prosecuting state, local election officials who issue ballots to people the federal list says are not eligible. What? And the U.S. Postal Service can forward with rulemaking on ballot design standards, barcodes, blah, 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 as well as not delivering if your name is not on there, even though you've got something going through the post office that's supposed to go to you, they're supposed to stop that.
Wait,
This is
what?
Yeah.
Not just
that's how I understand it.
Oh.
It's crazy making. It's they're supposed to compare the ballots to a list. Like let's say in my state, in Washington State, we have a list. Of course we have a list. That's how we get our ballots. They have our name, our address, we've registered, they know where we live, they maybe even have your phone number. But what they're saying is that if you're not on a certain list that's going to be forwarded to the post office is going to have this big, huge list. If you're not on there, they don't have to deliver it. Please. No wonder there was an injunction. This is just so far off of what is legal. Again, this thing with the Supreme Court, they didn't make a determination about what was legal or what was illegal. That's irrelevant.
I think it's just ballots. I don't think it's all mail.
No, it's ballots. What the hell do you think I was talking about?
I thought you were saying that they can't deliver any mail to these people. No.
We're just talking. No, they're going to be. They're sending these ballots. Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
that's what it sounded like. What you said.
Figures. I would say something like that. That would just be totally stupid. And this is totally stupid. But this is what it is.
This is Trump's stupidity.
When the ballots come in to the post office, and they're made up by the state, they are going to compare the barcodes and the names and all that to a list of names from the state in the first place.
Oh my God, who has time for that?
It's asinine. It's totally asinine because I'll tell you, where do you think the ballot got that information to put your name on the ballot in the first place?
Yeah.
There is no ballots being made up that are not on a list
of registered voters.
Registered voters. This is just
Christ. Oh,
this is not why they want a list of names. I don't think personally.
This is why we should test the president for mental cognitive powers,
And not just the president, the whole administration. What are they talking about?
That's true.
On the other hand, the whole administration will not let the SAVE Act go through. They don't have the votes for it. But so it says that the federal citizenship list that DSA or DHS must create is a list of adult U.S. citizens in each state and sent to states 60 days before the election. Well, good luck. Get on it. You've got about 8 or 9 days to get this going.
Yeah, it's a matter of hours to create that thing because it's The election is in November. They got to print everything. I mean, they got to print it multiple times. It's already August 27th. So let's see, September 27th is less than 2 months. They have to have these delivered by September. Well before this, but September 3rd.
Here, let me just say that the United States Postal Service
That's
ballot
4 days. It's 4 days away. They can't possibly do this.
Well, I know, and that's what I'm getting to. They can't do this, and this is what we've said a couple months ago.
Yes,
Even
we
then,
did.
it was being too late.
Yes.
So, the United States Postal Service ballot delivery restrictions restricts states must give this post service a list of voters approved for mail-in ballots, and then the Postal Service would be forbidden from delivering ballots to anyone not on that list.
Well,
This part of the thing that went through the court, this part of it is still blocked. And did I make it really clear now what can be sent and not sent through the Post Service?
Yeah,
Okay.
and don't tell the Republicans or the Republicans, but that list already exists. It's in the hands of the people who print the ballots and take the little stickers off the list and place them on the ballot.
No, they don't do it that way. They do it computerized. But
Okay,
every
but
state,
still, there's a list for each state, and that's what
every
they
state
use.
has a list of registered voters.
And it's already just the people who deserve to vote, who are registered to vote, who are legal to vote. It's already there. It's already in place. This system is already being done. Just it's not published to the stupid administration.
But this is why I'm saying that they're doing it in order to eliminate certain voters for whatever reason. They can choose any reason they want. They have no right to this information. This is state information. Each state is separate. It's not a federal thing. The president of the United States has no authority to interfere in the elections, and there's a reason for that. How goofy would it be? That would make the president a dictator.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Give this lady a cigar. Okay, that's great. The other piece that really kind of is scary is that DOJ can prioritize prosecuting state, local election officials who issue ballots to people in the federal list that says are not eligible. That's really scary because I can see the Trump administration just manufacturing ideas about who did this and prosecuting them at people in the state. I mean, that's bananas.
It just reminds me of how immigration is being handled.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's just terrible. Oh God, please, can he just can his cankles just explode and let him just lay on the floor for 24 hours with nobody finding him, and he just kind of goes, I'm checking out. I mean, come on, there's so much wrong with him. Please.
But because the court lifted one of the injunctions, Trump can now begin implementing the infrastructure of his plan. Trump is not satisfied with this.
Oh no.
With what the court has said, because it left it too broad. It left some of the injunctions in place, and he's rushing to hurry up and get this going now. So what he did on Monday is he filed another thing. Where did I have that? He filed another thing with the court to try to push this forward a little bit more, get a little more latitude on it, so that he can start doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
The problem with this now, the problem with this back in March, the problem with not being able to pass the SAVE Act, it is too late. I don't care how hard they hustle and try to do something.
No, it's too late.
All the stuff, and we talked about this before, about the injunctions is basically what we're talking about. The injunction said, hey, it goes against the Constitution. It's not legal. There's no need for it. He is talking about, that the voting is fraudulent. There is absolutely no proof of that. And we can go back to 2020, see how many courts he took it to 60 courts. Every court came up with the same determination, no fraud. So he is trying to implement something under the guise of, this is fraudulent. This is terrible fraudulent voting across the country. Well, interestingly enough, let me show you something here. Funny how voter fraud was never a real crisis for 250 years until a fraud became president. And thank you to whoever put this up on Facebook. I saw that and I thought,
I
perfect.
just have to have a little think about that. That is very interesting. 250 years, and then a fraud becomes a president, and now fraud is a thing.
And isn't that the truth? So,
wow.
So anyway, all the stuff we're talking about, it seemed when I first read the article about the Supreme Court, because I thought, God, he is constantly going to the Supreme Court to get stuff that is nobody else could ever get away with it. And so what they're doing anyway is going back to the Supreme Court more, but also what is happening is 25 states who already have sued, and the court said, no, you were premature. Now it's like, apparently it's not premature, because all these, actually it started with 23, and I believe now it's 25 states are, they're suing the United States Postal Service. They're not suing the Trump administration. And let me see if I can figure out how this works. Okay, the reason that these states are suing is because the Postal Service right now just finalized a new mail-in ballot rule created under Trump's March executive order, the SAVE Act. The states argue that the rule is unconstitutional, dangerous, and impossible to implement this close to the election. Absolutely. And I don't think, he knows he's not going to, everybody knows it's not going to happen before November. So Trump's dream is to put the Republicans back in there. And what's going to happen is, no, the Democrats will be put in there and take over. And so hopefully that group of people can help stop this for 2028, because this is just not going to work. But so the United States Postal Service published a 95-page final rule last Friday that would dramatically change how mail-in ballots are handled. This rule was carried out for Trump's order. And so the Supreme Court ruled on August 24th that the earlier lawsuits were premature because the United States Postal Service hadn't finalized the rule yet. You see how convoluted this starts getting? I mean, it's just tit for tat, You did this and we did that, but you were too early, and now it's illegal. No, it's not. Nobody said it's legal or illegal. It is so much jumbled up, chaotic mess.
Yes.
And the only thing it really does is, for some people, it discourages them. Do not be discouraged by this. Do not think that because these kind of things are going on, that when it comes to November, your vote doesn't count. Your vote absolutely does count. Do I think that Trump will try to interfere with that? I absolutely guarantee it. He will do whatever he can. So,
but you must vote. You have to vote, and you can't let that throw you off. And what my sister's saying is so important. Every vote does count. Your voice does count. You are entitled to vote. It's your duty to vote. And when you vote, when you all vote, we will take back the House and the Senate.
And so here is again is what the United States Postal Service rule actually does. It states to give the Postal Service a list of every mail-in voter for that state. Ballot envelopes to carry unique barcodes tied to each voter, scanned by the postal workers. I think in Washington that already exists.
A lot of this already exists. Mine comes with a barcode on it.
Yeah. And ballot envelope designs to be submitted to the United States Postal Service for federal approval. Excuse me. They want to change the envelope. The envelopes, over 5 million envelopes are already prepared in Washington State. They want to change that by November with a new kind of envelope.
No, it's not happening.
Even though the envelope that we already have does have exactly what they're talking about.
And I just want to know, in the Trump regime, who is going to be checking all this shit? Are they creating a new position for somebody to actually check this shit? Probably not.
No, no, the Postal Service people, they've got a
No.
whole
But
new
if they
job.
do something wrong, who's overseeing it? The DOJ is supposed to be overseeing it, or ICE or somebody.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, that's crazy boots. I mean, they already have jobs. They already have things they're supposed to be doing. I mean, this guy is just
okay. So the Postal Service
making shit up to make people busy. God,
the Postal Service will reject the ballots if the voter isn't on the federal list or if the envelope doesn't meet federal requirements. If the envelope does not meet federal requirements, now see, I'm telling you, we've already got ours ready to go in Washington State. But now they want to change it.
And what are they going to do? Who's going to see that the envelope doesn't meet federal requirements when it
because
goes back?
It will be a totally different looking one.
When it goes back to the state, it's the people counting the votes who see those envelopes. That's why I'm asking, who's going to be doing this? Someone going to be standing over their shoulder?
They depend on the Postal Service to deliver that to the people to make the counts.
Okay, so they deliver it, the person votes, they put their mail-in ballot in a drop box or in the mail or whatever, that gets received. The party or the people at the polls, they start pulling them out and looking at them. Are the people at the polls supposed to say, oh, this is not a federal? I mean, they're all going to look the same. All the envelopes are going to look the same, ostensibly. So what the hell? This is stupid.
No, it's not going to look the same. I guarantee you that they'll come up with something different so that we can't go ahead and use the envelopes that are already waiting, have already been printed up.
Well, hurry up, Buttercup. You got 4 days to make that happen. Because if everything's got to be there by 60 days before the election, that's 4 days away.
Okay, so let me tell you why the states are suing.
Yeah.
The states argue that the rule exceeds United States Postal Service's legal authority.
Yes.
It violates the Voting Rights Act. It violates federal privacy laws by forcing states to hand over voter lists. It interferes with states' constitutional power to run elections, and it risks disenfranchising eligible voters because ballots could be rejected for technical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And the New York Attorney General said the rule would shut millions of voters out of mail-in voting.
Yeah.
So the ballots actually start going out in early September in some states. And these election officials have already ordered envelopes, designed the ballots, and set up mailing systems. Now they're being told to redesign everything, build new federal data transfer systems, and get the Postal Service approval all within weeks. It's not going to happen.
Not within weeks, within days. Within days.
Well, this article says within weeks.
Well, I'm telling you, if they're going to do it 60 days before the election, it's got to be done over the next, let's see. Well, they're not going to make it. That's all I got.
Well, let me tell you what the Supreme Court did and didn't do. The Supreme Court did not approve the rule. They simply said the year earlier lawsuit was filed too early. So that is why Trump went ahead with his group and resubmitted stuff to the court to
Yeah.
get to broaden this out, because he didn't get what he really wanted, but it kind of made it sound like it in the news, and it kind of freaked people out.
It's freaking me out. Yeah.
Well, and there's a separate injunction that still blocks the Postal Service from enforcing part of the rule nationwide, though this may change as litigation continues. So here's the bottom line. Yes, 25 states are suing the United States Postal Service. They argue the new rule is unconstitutional, dangerous, and impossible to implement before November. Duh. The Supreme Court's recent decision opened the door for the rule to move forward procedurally, but did not declare that it's legal. This is what I love about this whole thing. This is just a cluster. You know what? To say we're going to do this, but we're not saying that it's legal to do it, but we're not saying it's illegal. I mean, give me a break. This is just stupid.
This whole thing is so corrupt.
Exactly.
So
we are witnessing the most corrupt president and his cabinets and his administration, the most corrupt in the history of the United States. So everybody keep paying attention to this. Don't get frustrated and give up, because what you're watching is history in the making. It will turn around.
And keep in mind, this is a man, he's trying to get everybody to take orders from him. He can't tie his own shoes, can't put his own socks on, can't get himself dressed. He probably can't clean himself, not to be TMI, but he can't put on that goddamn diaper.
It doesn't matter.
He has medical devices all over his body trying to keep him alive. He has medical procedures being done, I think, weekly now, trying to keep him alive. He can't do his own hair. He can't, if he is putting on his own makeup, that's about the only thing he's doing for himself. Why?
He's not doing that right.
He is so incompetent in every other way. Plus, all the decision making he makes is so incompetent. Why in the hell would anybody take their marching orders from him?
You know, and I just got to tell people, this is Pearl's opinion.
Damn straight it is. It is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
You know, she goes off on these tangents about what she thinks she knows about Trump, and I don't. Well, now wait a minute. I don't agree, but I don't disagree.
Maybe you should sit on the Supreme Court.
Exactly. I think I should. So the bottom line, right now, multiple lawsuits are now racing through federal courts to stop the rule before ballots go out. They're going to stop it. It's not going to be, it's not happening in November. We are going to take over. The Democrats are going to take over the House and the Senate, hopefully. But if they just get one or another, if they only get the House but not the Senate, or vice versa, that's enough.
Very, very happy. Very, very happy. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you there. I would love for them to get both, but even if they just get one or the other, it'll be a big win.
Yeah, really. I mean, this is
with Trump, if we can just drag this out by like 14 days, what'll happen.
Oh, he'll put something in that says, I have extra time because I'm the president, or I have this or that.
He'll forget about it. He'll taco out.
Probably.
He'll forget him. He'll go on to some other nonsense. So we just have to hang in there for like a good 10 days. And then he'll be like, what? Did someone get me a Diet Coke? I'll take a cheeseburger. I mean, he'll forget. I think.
Well, I mean, this thing about the voting is really important. And I can't believe how much time we've had to spend on it. And not just today, but I mean, ever since we've had the show going, we've been talking about this.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just so unheard of. How in the world a president and his administration can go against the Constitution? This is the Constitution. This is you can't go against the Constitution. If we can't just all support the Constitution, we do not Well, I hate to say it, we do not have a democracy. And we're not going to lose that. There's no way in hell.
No. All the dead presidents and all the dead journalists are just rolling over in their graves right now because it's unheard of. It's
Yes.
just unheard of.
And just like all the beautifications of the White
Oh,
House.
oh God.
I didn't want to bring this up, but please. It just gets more and more ridiculous. I saw a thing today about, oh God, what did they were listing all the Republicans, and they were talking about um, the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center thing.
Yeah.
You know, that he's still trying to do stuff. He's still so pissed off about that. And they listed John F. Kennedy as a Republican within a list of 5 Republican presidents. They listed John F. Kennedy. I'm like, no. If
No.
anybody has any, I mean, when you first look at that, you're like, what? I'm pretty sure he's a Democrat. He was a Democrat. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a Democrat.
And that's why I just thought it was so weird that Trump wanted to put his name on. Is it called the John F. Kennedy Memorial thing? Or
It's called the
board?
John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't say memorial thing.
No, but it was brought about by an act of Congress to create this thing. And the name, specifically because it was created by Congress, the name cannot be changed unless it's another act of Congress.
Well, and I mean, it was for a president that was assassinated. It's all about the Kennedy thing. It has nothing
Yeah.
to do with Trump.
Right.
And
it has nothing to do with the his political leanings as a president.
well, and you know what Trump did? He got so pissed off about it, and he says that the whole building
is going to be torn down.
He's going to tear the whole building down because it's and start all over again. So he could probably put a completely different name on there. This is just
this at NBC News, the headline is Judge hits DOJ lawyers with barrage of questions on Kennedy Center renovation and Trump renaming because the Justice Department lawyers said, oh, go away. The Justice Department lawyers said in a court filing this week that keeping Trump's name off the Performance Center could lead to the building's demolition. And then there's a picture of it. I've been there. I've seen it. It's wonderful. Wow. So the judge was peppering the lawyers with questions about their rush to put his name back on the building and saying that, I don't know, what's magic about the date? Oh, the judge said, what's magic about that date? And Mayers, it must be somebody from the board of the Kennedy Center, said the date was the date the board voted on, and it had a timetable it plans to stick to. So that's what's magical about it. Cooper then asked why adding Trump's name to the building, the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts, would not violate federal appropriations rules that prevent aggrandizement promoting a specific individual within a federal agency. Mayers said it would not be a violation because it's honoring Trump in his role as president, not as chairman of the board of the Kennedy Center. The judge said, that's cutting it a little fine, isn't it? And Mayers said he was being true to the statute.
Oh, God.
So he says things are in a temporary holding pattern. The judge said, while we can give the issues the attention they deserve. It's a very diplomatic way of saying, yeah, cool your jets, boys. We're not doing anything yet. Wow. Wow. These judges, I think
but
now...
it wouldn't be the first time that Trump went ahead and took a wrecking ball to a big building.
And, if he does, then when he's gone, I think Congress is just going to meet again on the JFK Performing Center Center for the Performing Arts, and they will just build a bigger one. All that money that we're not spending on all the Trump shit, we will spend it on that. I mean, hell, we're going to have to rebuild the White House in a minute because he's left that East Wing wide open to the elements. I mean, it's probably got tarps the size of Africa covering up the holes, but still, it's been open. And when they tore everything down, there was asbestos and lead and all sorts of really toxic stuff let out into the air because they didn't follow any protocols. They didn't do it right. They just went ahead and did it.
Do we know that for? I've heard you say that before. Do
Yeah.
you know that for a fact?
Yes.
You've seen
Yes.
that in print that
Yeah.
there's asbestos and stuff all floating around out there?
Okay, I'll look
Because
it up.
actually, that would give Trump a good reason to tear it down. That's
Not
unhealthy.
not the way he's doing it though. When you do tear something down like that, you have to have people who are knowledgeable and certified about removing those toxic materials.
Well, and they all need to be wear hazmat suits and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought I saw some with those on with respirators. I don't know.
Well,
It,
yeah,
it's
after the fact because the stuff was very it was hazardous and people were like coughing and shit.
well, okay. So, they're still trying to build. I think you brought this up last time too, is that the bunker that they're building underneath in the basement of the new ballroom, that is acceptable and that they can go ahead and do that. They just can't build the ballroom. So it doesn't affect the ability to run and hide from a nuclear weapon, but it does affect the idea that nobody's going to be dancing. I just don't. I just don't get it. But anyway, moving along, let's talk about the US Canada tariff war and what we think about that. And I'll tell you right now, I think it's just the most ridiculous and dangerous and expensive thing that he is just. That's why I call this the Screw America in Every Orifice Act, because this is part of that. These tariff things. And he's just doesn't give a shit about us. It's gonna cost us so much more money. Um, I was just telling Pearl before we came on that a friend of mine wanted to get a new computer, and so they wanted to get the same. I bought a new computer about a year ago. Well, exactly a year ago. And so we looked to try to find the same kind of computer I have and see what it would cost today. It cost over $1,000 more for the exact same computer that I got 1 year ago. I mean, and there was tariffs going on then, wasn't there? But the tariffs have just, I couldn't believe it. Over $1,000 more for a
It's
computer.
skyrocketed. It's just skyrocketed. And the manufacturers and the people who are selling, they don't know how to price things because they don't know if there's going to be another tariff next week. So, I mean, I can't really blame them, but I
Oh no, I don't.
I
I
blame
don't blame
Trump.
them.
I blame Trump.
Absolutely, and so that's just one small little thing that I've been going through. But I mean, our groceries, our gas, our yeah, everything that has to do with like maintaining roads, building buildings, everything is going to be affected. This thing with Canada is so far out of hand. Now let's remember, how did this first start? The first thing we ever heard about Canada is they were allowing fentanyl just to flow over the
Yeah.
border.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they were going to be reprimanded, they were going to be disciplined by throwing a bunch of tariffs out there because they were allowing all these drugs to flow over or pour over the border. Well, surprise, they looked into that. And I think I had that written down
Yeah, they
somewhere. The
said
exact
independent data showed that the northern border accounts for only 0.2% of U.S. fentanyl seizures. So that justification collapsed.
yeah. So they couldn't use that anymore.
Yeah.
So then they came up with something else, then something else, then something else. It's just and this thing about the Canada, and people are totally buying into this. I see people commenting about these kind of articles on the internet, And they're saying, well, yeah, Canada's taking full advantage of us. BS. No, that's never happened. You can't, I can't imagine Canada taking advantage of anybody. I just can't see it.
Nope.
So, uh, and what it's actually done, it's running people out of business, especially in Washington State. We're so close to Canada. I'm a couple hours away from Vancouver, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people up in, I think it's like Blaine and some of these other little small towns up at
Mm-hmm.
near the border, they have kept they've kept their towns and their little cities and stuff because of Canadians coming over the border and doing their shopping down here, getting their stuff, going back over. And we do the same thing, shuffle
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, those little towns are going under. They're not going to survive.
No.
I know that in the very beginning of the tariffs, all of a sudden Canada said, no, we're not going over there
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
But
Remember the alcohol, the bourbon ones? That was in the very beginning. And
But I'm talking about people that just have little stores and
oh
little
yeah.
towns, little gift
Oh yeah.
shops. Maybe they went down there to buy some produce, different items and food that maybe they couldn't get up in Canada. I don't know. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's just a better price. And I mean, we all got along. It was just great. And now, I mean, in the very beginning, they stopped coming down and then they mellowed out and we all mellowed out. And the towns are saying, please, we're dying down here without you. So they came back. And so we started doing it again. Now, every time these threaten more tariffs with Canada, finally the Canadians are like, you know what? We just can't do this anymore. I mean, we're sorry that you've got a president that doesn't care about their people. Um,
Yep.
Obviously, the person in Canada, I don't know, what are they called? A prime minister or
Yeah. The prime minister.
they are concerned about their people and they will do whatever they can to help their people and their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting no help. Trump is just like
No.
50% tariffs on Canada. I mean, it's staggered a little bit. It's anywhere from, what was it, 22 to, I can't remember, but I think it goes like 20, 35, 50. I mean, it just gets so out of hand. We can't afford it. Um, I always thought when we talked about tariffs before, and by the way, the tariff that I'm talking about on the computer probably came from China. Um, uh, I don't know that it could have come from Canada, but I do know that they do some electronics from Canada, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if this
No,
is
no,
definitely,
it's China.
it's
Yeah.
China. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You look at your computers and
And
it's just like,
that's a lower tariff. He didn't tariff them as much.
so it's just crazy. I thought that what the things, that cost $5 maybe went up to maybe $7.
Mm-hmm.
Or things that cost $10, maybe they went up a little bit more to $13, $14. No, it's way, way worse than that. It is literally, well, in this case, 50%. I mean, for something that cost, this computer just initially cost, I think, about $1,200 or $1,300, went up to $2,200 to $2,300.
Jesus.
That's 50%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bizarre, totally bizarre, and it's killing us. The
Actually,
wood that we,
it's almost 100%.
okay, and it probably, well, remember when he was talking about China, he was saying 100, 150, 180. I mean, he was getting just crazy with it. Um, but his excuse for doing all this changes to
Mm-hmm.
try to fit something when they find out, well, no, there wasn't a fentanyl problem.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, what I had heard is the fentanyl that did come in from Canada came from China in the first place, and then they routed it through Canada down into the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling that there's a lot less fentanyl around, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. That is a dangerous drug, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and so they wanted, they're just really screwing us over. Not they, Trump and then Trump, the Republicans are really screwing us over, and they don't want us to even talk about it or even consider. Because the other thing is if we put these high tariffs on other countries, all other countries, then we will start doing the more manufacturing right here in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise, that did not work. And everybody knows it didn't work. We cannot make the kind of stuff we get from China cheaper than China does because they've been doing it forever. We have to, if this is what Trump truly wanted to do, is to build the infrastructure and the manufacturing within the United States, was this the way to do it? Is it just, chop off everything from the countries that we're getting and throw all these huge tariffs out there and then hope that some company says, oh, well, this might be a good time to start a new business? No, nobody can afford to do that.
No.
We don't have new manufacturing.
Nope.
Um, and the thing with the cars and car parts from Canada, it's going to go through the roof. It's going to cost so much more money. It's
Yeah.
just,
It's really sad. I did look up about the asbestos and hazardous materials on the East Wing.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you did that.
So the um, the administration started their site preparation September of 2025, and they installed security barricades around the exterior. October 20th, heavy machinery and bulldozers officially began tearing down the building's entrance facade. October 24th, so 4 days, within 4 days, the entire structure was reduced to rubble. Now, here's the interesting thing, they were sued. Let me go back to the other screen here. They were sued because they did not submit the paperwork of any kind or documentation and proof that they had removed like asbestos and any other hazardous materials beforehand. But officials stated after the fact, after they got sued, they said, "Oh, we removed those. That was finished in September. That's when they put up the barricades." I don't think so. But nobody saw that. Nobody saw anything
Right.
happening. There was no, they should have done the barricades like the month or two before to allow for safety when they did all the abatement, because there would have been a hell of a lot of stuff to abate, to take away. And
Well,
so,
do you remember how shocking it was to see those
yes.
pictures of the
And
White
that,
House?
and that's why I'm saying I don't think they did any of it. I think they just tore it down. If they had been doing that asbestos abatement, that would have taken weeks, I'm sure, weeks to move all that stuff out. So you would have seen people in the hazmat suits. You would have seen people walking around with those suits and the truck container things that they need in order to take it out. Because some of those trucks have like big hoses. They can just suck it out. You would have seen that. Nobody saw that. That
Just
wasn't happening.
no,
So,
no,
so
you're
they
right.
get sued. They get sued by the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization, which filed the lawsuit. And then after the fact, they go and they say, "Oh no, no, we did all of that," but they have never proved it. They have never shown the paperwork or any documentation, and nobody ever saw anything. So I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't
And
believe
no
they did it.
pictures, no nothing.
No, they have not provided one iota of documentation that they
And
did take out the hazardous materials.
why am I not surprised that
Why do you
there is
question me? I told you they.
no, I'm not saying you.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
saying
I
the
know.
way that they do things. Why am I not
That's
surprised?
right. Why? Why?
You know?
Crazy. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to add with the tariffs, one thing that I may have forgotten here.
Okay.
When they say 50% tariff, they're not saying a whole new 50% tariff. they're saying a 50% tariff on whatever it was before. So if that tariff, so if that tariff was a 10% tariff at some point, and now they add 50% to it, it's a 60% tariff. I don't think everybody really caught on to that. I know
No,
I
I
didn't
never.
initially,
No, I
but
didn't.
that is the way it's working out. So there's all these tariffs because there was a 10 and 15 and even a 20% tariff.
And
So
on
when
different things. So it wasn't the same across the board. It was on different
true,
things. Sorry.
true,
Yeah.
yes, it was. It was on. It's not across the board. It's on different things, and
Mhm.
it's an addition to what we have already been dealing with.
Yeah.
So that is why it gets so far out of hand. And I'm just waiting for Trump to be looking around like, oh boy, we just made so much money. No, you did. The government did. We did not. We paid for it. We are paying for all of the tariffs that I'm talking about right now, whether it's 20%, 60%, 100%. We, the people, are paying for these tariffs. And it's getting out of hand. And
And you know
this,
what everybody's forgotten about too is they were I don't know if this was a somebody sued them or just the court said you have to pay back some of those you have to pay back people for the tariffs. That money went probably a one-time payment back to the corporations, was not passed on to the consumer, but we haven't heard anything more about it. Are there any more refunds there? Are we getting a check? No, because
no,
what
no,
we're
no.
doing now is just
We'll
more
never get
tariffs, more tariffs, more tariffs.
right, exactly. And I don't understand what the difference is between the legal and illegal tariffs. It was the illegal tariffs that made that the Trump administration had to pay back billions in tariffs they collected. But yeah, now they can when they're doing this thing with Canada. Why is this right now?
It's
I
not.
don't
And they're
understand.
just conveniently forgetting about the fact that they're illegal.
I don't think they can conveniently forget about that because it was the Supreme Court that actually said this is illegal.
Who's
And
implementing it though? Who's implementing it? It wouldn't be beneath them to go ahead and do it.
they did pay back huge
One
corporations.
one time. One time you heard about it. You haven't heard anything about it since.
No, because Walmart and Costco and all those, Costco will probably be the most fair of all of them, but they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, we did get a little bit of extra money back." But, there's just no way, that's over and done with, and it cost us a lot to do BS. It's just no,
Yeah, it's just
the
terrible.
the
I
consumers.
just feel like it died down after that court thing and the paying back money. He just let it die down. He went on. He started his war. He did all his other shit, and now he's just like doing the tariffs again and just ignoring the whole thing. I just don't think he gives a shit. He's just going to do whatever the hell he wants.
I'll have to look into that a little bit further because it was
The war is
just
illegal. He never got approval for that.
true. No, I mean, not just approval, but this thing about what is a legal tariff and an illegal tariff and the way it's
Yeah,
presented.
yeah, I don't know. I missed all of that too.
And so,
Oh man,
um,
we could go off and do a whole other show because when he started the war, not only did we have the tariffs going on, but he's spent so much goddamn money that we don't even have any ammunition left. We don't even
oh,
have
I
like,
know. What is
you
that?
know,
And they've
well,
depleted the gas reserves
it's
and
got to be
or
next
gas
week.
and
It's got to
oil.
be next week's show. It's just, I mean, we could go on forever on that.
Like I said many times on this show, we never run out of material.
No, we don't. But please, everybody, if you're watching us up to this point, please like, share, and subscribe. We love you, subscribers. We love all the we love all the subscribers. We really do. It's amazing that you guys will sit here and listen to us for this long.
And isn't that the truth? So, by the way, we do try to get the correct information. We're not just making this up. I do a lot of research to
Yeah,
try to
you do.
find out what we're talking about is at least the correct information, or as far as we can tell, it's the correct information. But um, Like I said earlier, all we need is 43,000 new subscribers.
That's all we need. That's all we need. I don't think that's asking too much. I mean,
I don't either. I see a lot of other shows. They got tons. They got millions, but or 100,000 and stuff. They got lots of subscribers. So just like Mike Lindell needing
oh,
43,000 votes,
he
all
needs
we need is
43,000.
43,000. I think I'm going to stick with that figure.
I bet we
43,000
could get I
subscribers
bet we could get 43,000 subscribers just from Wisconsin. Or is that Minnesota?
from
From
Minnesota
it's Minnesota's where we're going to get it.
because we support Amy for governor.
Yes, we support Amy. Amy is our girl, our woman.
So
And nothing about against Wisconsin. You 43,000 people watching from Wisconsin, you should be subscribers too. We would love you too, even more than we do now.
that's right.
We would.
And we just haven't. It's the problem is we haven't been on quite long enough. But that's why we'd like to just jump ahead. Just remember that figure. Don't you want to be a part of the 43,000 that subscribes to Scuttlebutt with Cleo and Pearl? I mean,
Please.
it would be wonderful. So this is we're coming to an end here, and we will definitely be back on in a week.
Mm-hmm.
This show is being recorded on Thursday, and I will put it up on YouTube on tomorrow, on Friday, and probably a few little shorts will go along with it. But I do appreciate, I'm joking around about the subscribers, but I do appreciate the people. There has been a lot more subscribers coming up. Really, really appreciate it. And we do need subscribers. We are fairly new, and I think we're getting in a good groove. I'm getting a lot of good reports back from people that they're really enjoying the show, and I love that because that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
But we're also doing it because we want to do our little part to help save democracy.
Yeah.
And I just see that the trouble that we're having right now with the courts and the voting system. You just watch. I think it's going to go in the right direction. I think that this is something we just have to get through so that we don't ever have to do it again, because obviously this is major corruption. This is Trump trying to control the voting in his favor. I mean, he just is scared to death that the Democrats are going to take over, and he keeps talking about it. He's going to be impeached. God, I hope so, but
Wow, me too.
That would be a time to really have a party. So we'll see. I don't even, it just seems like we've heard it. It's already been impeached twice. And then, the Senate steps in and gives
Third time's the charm.
Isn't that the truth? So anyway, thanks for watching, and
thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for all the good comments. God, I really, really do appreciate that, because it takes some effort to do these shows. So anyway, we'll see you next week.